thing, guys. I'm starting to think that the blue figures are a representation of the 12-day war last year, and perhaps the reason that it's split is an indication of two wars to come, twin wars, so to speak, a representation of the Twin Towers, perhaps. So, I have a few things I want to go over. There's been some channels that have noticed some very interesting things. Very interesting things. And in particular, my friend, Decoding Our Reality, he made a correlation between the cloud or the mushroom cloud explosion that took place in Tehran and the particular scene in ipetgoat2 associated with that. So yeah, of course, nothing relevant in terms of macro scale occurred on the 3rd. But again, you have to take into consideration that in that scene with the lunar eclipse, and yes, it is a lunar eclipse. I don't care what anybody says. All these YouTubers say it's a solar eclipse. You cannot see a solar eclipse at night, and that scene is clearly at night. So in that scene, there's a preparation phase going on. You see the ship with all the missiles. You see, so I'm trying to put two and two together, and it's actually giving off a very eerie, uncanny type of feeling to be going through all of this. Because at this point, I don't think it's even remotely possible that these things can be coincidences. You see, it all started like the bingo moment was the bullet hole through the right ear of Chief. That in the rabbit's ear from that point on, and other things before that, that sort of solidified a seriousness to this animation. And of course, there has been a perpetual dangling carrot for years, which was deliberate and purposeful. But keep in mind, whenever Louis would change things on his website or would add a strange video to his channel, it would always be weeks or months later that a significant event would take place. That was very evident with the first upload, which was the SOS video of him taking a stroll through Montreal and zooming in on a building. SOS. I think it was 4 or 5 months later that the Israeli 9-1-1 event occurred. Perhaps that may be true in Kelbel, but I have never trusted my inner compass. I've always felt a complete and total sense of detachment from my own spirit. I'm unable to integrate or unify in this reality in any way, shape, or form. It's a really dark, depressing place to be, and I don't wish it upon my worst enemy. But good luck to you. My inner compass is just completely haywire. It's gone. There's nothing there. So, guys, I have people that will be pissed off at me talking about this. Go ahead and be pissed off. I don't give two shits. I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And that's all there is to it. So, there's an interesting scene I want to show you. Hugh Jordan pointed this out, as well as decoding our reality. There's a few things I'd like to show you. So this is the slow-mo version. Right. Do you think the iceberg thing on the left, guys, do you think that that is a tsunami? Because that's what everybody's been saying over the years, but I don't think that that's necessarily true. Like, oh, Angel, my God, I haven't heard from you in so long. Where have you been? So glad to see you. Yes, I see this is the preparation phase with the missiles. And around the eclipse was around when the war started, too. So you kind of can put the two and two together, actually. But this is really important here, right? The oil shutting down. And that's something that's very suspicious to me about the Strait of Hormuz. Here's something that's really suspicious to me, guys. I'm not a military strategist. I'm nobody. But what's confusing to me is why they haven't focused their attention to open up that strait for global commerce. It almost feels like a deliberate, some kind of deliberate trickery that is taking place. I mean, if we're capable of bombing thousands of targets, including 200 school children, which, by the way, has been proven to have come from our Tomahawk missiles, then why is it so difficult to open a 20-mile wide strait of water? To me, that almost seems like, here's the thing, they're not doing anything about it. Like, literally nothing. Like, they're focusing their attention on bombing infrastructure in the country, but the Strait of Hormuz still closed. And I think they could reopen it pretty easily with, I don't know, naval escorts, whatever the case may be. And it's just strange to me that this is not like a priority, which gives me this feeling that this is all a setup from, from something. Yes, Angel, I believe so too. All this ridiculous arrogance coming from Trump is just absurd and over the top. We have the best military in the world. We're so great. We're so amazing. We're so great. All of that constantly repetitive rhetoric is just getting so old. But yeah, this scene, the oil stops flowing. And what's astonishing to me is that not only are we not trying to reopen that strait, but from what I researched, India gets 80% of its fuel coming from that strait. South Korea, Japan get more than half. China gets a substantial chunk of oil directly from that strait. I would, they do have reserves as far as I know, but one would think that they would be a little bit more active. They probably are active in diplomatic back channels, but if it's related to your entire country's survival, you would think that it would be more dire. I heard that Dubai is cut off, and they're going to be running out of food within a week. because those Middle Eastern countries, they export the oil, but they import a lot of their food as well. So it's just all weird to me. And there is a completely fake component to it too. Oil had the biggest one-day spike in history the other day, and then Trump just came out and spouted a bunch of lies and quieted the markets. That's all. That's all you have to do to manipulate the markets. You just say everything is fine, sing it a little lullaby, pet it on the head a little bit. It's okay, market. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's a confusing war. It's ridiculous, and the strategy changes every couple hours. It just makes no sense. The nuclear program, the ballistic missiles, the blah 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 blah, and there's like never actually an objective. And guys, I knew this was going to happen. By the way, when this started, I knew there was going to be no regime change. They got the exact opposite of what they wanted. They got Khomeini's son, who had to watch his dad die, his wife die, his sister die, his daughter die, because of us. And now he's in charge. So you kind of, I don't think that's a strategic victory in any way, shape, or form. Just my opinion. If that's what ended up happening, and also Cuba's next for liberation, guys. Cuba is next for liberation, according to Lindsey Graham. We're gonna go liberate them too in a few weeks, from what I hear. It's not gonna end up good for anyone. Yeah. I think somebody's gonna do something pretty dire eventually. Like for China, this would actually be a perfect opportunity to attack Taiwan as a diversion from all of this and divert resources from the Middle East to East Asia. I don't think there's any nuclear weapons in this version of Earth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything. Remember, this version of Earth to me is just a simulator. That's it. That's all it is. A dead, soulless simulator. And then people wonder, why are you so sad, man? Why are you so sad? Well, because I need a real I need real divinity to survive. I need real light to survive. And I don't sense that here. I don't sense that here at all. It's just a phony construct. Anyway, so yeah, we got to this scene, right? So the oil is cut off, right? There's only drops of oil going through. And this even looks like the Strait if you look at a map of the Strait of Hormuz. Now, this next scene, I don't know what the hell to think about it, to be honest. So, yes, I do, like people say this is a tsunami right here. And yeah, I would say that that is a giant wave. It looks like it, but it's slow moving. Since it's slow moving, I don't think it's anything nuclear. It's probably the result of an earthquake or something. So here's something interesting I wanted to show you guys. So this guy, Ludovic, I wish I knew what he was saying there, but so what Hugh Jordan, a YouTuber, pointed out, and I actually agree with him. Ludovic, when he's laying down, he says something, and then after that, the way his lips move, he's saying Abraham. You see? Abraham. I thought that was pretty brilliant. And then, of course, you have the uranium markets plunge war coverage. And what was the initial reason for why we started this war? It was for uranium, right?
The stockpiles of uranium. B-2 bombers are being used there right now. Hugh Jordan pointed out that these are cluster munitions firing back, which Iran is using cluster munitions. And obviously the Islamic symbol right there, and that's obviously a mosque. I disagree. He says that that is some kind of refinery. I don't think so. I think that that is a mosque. Now here's where Decoding Our Reality found something really interesting. So I never like really thought about this, but she's holding oil in her hand. And you have this cataclysmic explosion while she's holding the oil in her hand. And you guys saw this explosion the other day. It actually created a gigantic mushroom cloud over Tehran because of an oil depot that was bombed. And now that entire city is filled with toxic ash. So I think that's pretty relevant. This scene is very interesting to me for that reason. With the initial explosion, I don't know, I don't see a picture, but if you look it up, it looked just like this mushroom cloud from here. It looked just like that when it first exploded. And yeah, and also this ship, we sunk a Iranian ship off of Sri Lanka's coast, and when it sank, the nose went up like just like that. It looked actually pretty much just like that. So just one more thing that one of these guys found. This is another scene that I still don't quite understand because it's a child. I mean, maybe it's related to the Epstein files, maybe it's related to sleeper cells. It's kind of hard to say. Who knows? Maybe that's P. Diddy, for God's sake. It's pretty. Tanks are rolling in. And one of the last things I want to show you guys is the little blotches on her face. Diamond ring. So these little blotches on her face, I think Hugh Jordan or one of these guys. I've always wondered what the hell that is too. And he's saying that it's these islands off of the coast of Iran called Karg Island. Apparently this is Iran's main oil exporting depot. This is where they export the majority of their oil from this island. And there's a variety of other islands across near the Strait of Hormuz, like these islands here. I don't know. Could be anything, but there definitely is a resemblance between this Karg Island place, wherever it was, whatever, and these blotches on her face. Pretty interesting. Yeah, so anyway, you've never seen the blotches until this video. That changed for me, really? That's pretty interesting for sure. Anyway, we'll see what happens next. We had the 12-day war last year that ended in a miraculous ceasefire. This one is different. This one's a lot more intense already, and any talks of a ceasefire is constantly being rejected. So it's pretty interesting. Or is it also going to last 12 days? Maybe, maybe not. But the beginning scene in the classroom, I think initially
I think it does initially represent the 12-day war.
That happened last year. And because it's kind of split in two, maybe it implies two separate wars. I don't know. All we do know is she's telling you to get the hell out. When? No one wants this except for billionaires. Well, they want it because they're trying to escape justice. 95% less searches on the Epstein files after this war started. Really? The color changed for me on the tanks? That's pretty wild. Yeah, so, we're definitely expressing a tremendous amount of arrogance, regardless of how this ends up going down. The amount of arrogance we're displaying is just completely idiotic. It's over the top. So, let's see.